Edinson Cavani. Maybe not your favorite signing, Ian, but he did manage to crack Mark Ogden's top 10 signings of this Premier League transfer window. Let's take a look at that list. Now, number 1 on it, Thiago Alcantara. Number 2, James Rodriguez. Cavani, as we said, number 4. Timo Werner in there at number 6. Ahead of him, number 5, Partey, moving to Arsenal. Jan, as we look at this list, you got any issues with it?
Well, I think Cavani must be based on his former part of his career, because he's been out for a while. It could be good for Manchester United, for all the young kids, to have a role model in there is one striker who's been doing it before. Thiago is a great signing. I think that Mark has been a bit influenced on the first games the boys have played. Thiago came on and did marvelous. I maybe missed Kai Havertz in there, because I think in the long term, that is a great signing for Manchester United. I think it's too early to say who will be the best players in there, but I think the list looks okay. There is a lot of players coming in there that we don't know a lot about, and if fans are sometimes honest, well, they are never honest anyway. If a player is linked to them from Spain or Italy, they have no clue who that is anyway, and they just say that the club needs to get that player.
I know James is number 2 on this list, but Ian, if we're going off immediate impact, what we've seen so far, he'd have to be number 1, right?
I think he's really sprinkled some stardust on Goodison Park. I saw them last Saturday against Brighton. He was terrific. He scored a couple of goals. He set up another one, and he's just become a spark plug at that club. I mean, I'm interested to see where that Everton story goes. It's wonderful, really, and it's almost like a reminder of old times at Everton, who used to be, well, they won a couple of titles in the 1980s, and not too much has happened for them in more recent times. So I think it's great to see him on that list. I'd agree with that. I think Thiago at number 1, yeah, wouldn't argue. I think Ruben Dias might be an important signing who could have made the top 10 for Manchester City. He might go some way to solving their many defensive issues.
Well, in addition to Mark Ogden's list, here's a list of the notable transfers just since the season started. You got to remember, when a season starts, of course, we put our pundits on the spot. They have to make their Premier League predictions. Among the pundits who made their predictions was one Ian Darke, who had Manchester United finishing 2nd. Is that right, Ian? This is your one chance. You want to take it back? You want to make any changes?
No changes. They've only played 3 games so far. There are 35 to go. They were playing very well at the back end of last season, inspired by Bruno Fernandes. There is a bit of a shambles there at the moment. I do think they'll sort it, and I do think they'll improve greatly.
Stevie, you had Manchester United in 3rd. You've dropped them to 5th. You've moved Spurs into the top 4. Why?
Well, do you want me to start with Man United or Spurs? I mean, Man United, you know, and Ian was talking about, well, they had a great run and got into the top 4, but that was after everybody had completely discarded them, and they were just left alone to put a run of results together. When the pressure's been on, they've never produced, and right now they are struggling big time. And I'm not quite sure how the signing of Cavani, and Cavani only pretty much, makes any difference. So that's why I've knocked them out, and I've knocked Spurs in, because the signings they've made have made a huge impact on them. The 2 fullbacks, Nicol and Darke. I mean, you talk about an upgrade on Aurier and Davis. I mean, that's like taking Trent Alexander and Robertson away and putting them in Spurs. I mean, just absolutely huge signings. And the one that surprised me is the Højbjerg one from Southampton. I thought, why are they bringing Højbjerg? Because I wasn't too sure about him. But I'll tell you what, in a game where you can't really tackle that much, he's producing a bit of steel in there. Sissoko and Harry Winks did well, but let's be honest, if I'm a central midfielder, do I want to play against Højbjerg or Harry Winks? I don't want anything to do with Højbjerg. I'll play against Winks all day. So then you add Gareth Bale to that. I mean, so Spurs 100% have had a great window. They got a great result on the weekend. And right now, everything looks rosy. So you've given me a do-over, and I'm going to take advantage of it. And I'm going to take Man United out of the top 4 and put Spurs in it.
Jan, it's only a few games. Stevie says he's seen enough to drop United out of the top 4. Have you?
No, I haven't. But I think that Stevie Nicol, he makes a good case for himself. I mean, he's been seeing a lot of law and order series in the USA. I think he's doing well for Tottenham, but I will stick to it because I think the Manchester United, I follow Ian, that they were good at the end of the last season, but they looked tired at the end of the season. So if I should do something, it's to take Manchester United out. But I'm not sure. I mean, the top two is quite easy because what I think Liverpool has done so well, and I think that is the main thing about Liverpool. First, they look for what kind of need they have in the team, and then they look for players. And then there are clubs who just look for new players. And I think with Jota and Thiago, they have done very well for themselves. Diaz coming in for Manchester City will do them well, but I still think Liverpool will nick it. And I mean, everybody is saying, oh, it's so great that Chelsea get a new goalkeeper, Mendy. I'm not over-convinced by Mendy, but I'm sticking to it. I won't change. I won't change, Stevie. Just stick to your case. Just protect the man you're defending.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.